everybody, it's Joyce Farkas from Joyce Farkas Fluid Art. I thought today I would talk about pouring mediums. I've had people ask me what I use, and I've seen a lot of people posting on Facebook lately about what is the best pouring medium. First thing I want to tell you is I live in Maryland, and right now it's anywhere from 75 degrees to 95 degrees usually. This is June, and I do not paint in a hot garage or a cold basement. I paint in a bedroom, and the temperature in our house stays at about 70 degrees. Sometimes a little warmer, sometimes a little cooler, depending upon the day. So those are the factors that can affect your pouring mediums and your paintings. So based on those facts, I have found a product that I like that works for me. And the very first time I used it, I had a few troubles with it, but I think I was looking at an unlevel surface for drying at the time. Since then, I have corrected my unlevel drying problem, and I have never had a minute's problem since. To be honest, when Behr discontinued 8300, I thought my life was over and that I would never find another product that would work as well. But for me, for where I live, the conditions in my home, and the fact that I paint inside a bedroom that stays consistent, I think helps me. So I'm going to turn the camera around a little bit, and I'm going to show you what I use, and we're going to mix some paint today. So hang on here. All right, so I also want to tell you that this recipe that I use is the one that Karen Dershin recommended to the community, and I love it. It's perfection for me. So anyway, so the first product that I use, let's see here, I don't have enough room. If you know anything about me, you know that I paint in this tiny little bedroom in my home, and there is not a lot of space here, but I make do. I make it work, and that needs a good stirring, so I'll keep talking while I stir this. I should have done that off camera. I still might. Anyway, I use Sherwin Williams, I don't know if you can see that, the HGTV Sherwin Williams Infinity. This is an interior semi-gloss, and it is base C. The number on the bottom of the can down here is 434730, base C. I've been using this, oh gosh, I want to say since sometime in the fall, last fall, and I haven't had a minute's problem. You know what? I want to come back because this needs a lot of stirring, so hang with me. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so we're all good now. So I'm going to add 12 ounces, and I buy these wonderful little cups. And I'm going to add, it's got all my measurements right on the side here, and we're going to add 12 ounces to this. There we go. Ooh, make a mess. I have 12 ounces in my cup exactly, which is pretty good. You can make a double batch of this if you want, but I just prefer to do them in single batches. Go ahead and clean this off. This in my bucket. And this, just have a mess, don't I? There we go. We'll set this back here, out of the way. Wipe my fingers again. All right, the next thing that we're going to put in here is Varathane triple thick polyurethane, water-based. Okay, this is the clear semi-gloss, which you can see down here. All right, we're going to add 6 ounces of this, and I guess I should give this a stir too, just to make sure, because both these products are brand new. This one looks like it might be okay. Didn't look like it's separated, but you never know. So I'm going to add this next. By the way, if you haven't been to the dollar store and got yourself some of these are fabulous. I love these things. All right, so we're just going to add 6 ounces up to the 18-ounce mark of this. There we go. Whew. Yeah, that's pretty good. And we'll put this in the bucket. So that is it. This is all of my pouring medium. I'll give that a good stir. You know, coming up with a recipe is so simple. And sometimes it's trial and error. If you have a good product, keep using it. If you don't have a good product, you're just going to have to try other products until you find something that works for you in the climate you live in or the climate of your studio. So that's it. That is my pouring medium ready to go. So this is how simple I make it. I've got 6 colors here that I'm going to mix up for a palette. I've got a piggy, which is a powder. I've got a liquid, and I've got 2 Master's Touches and a Liquitex and an Amsterdam. All of them have different consistencies. All of them. So the thing I do is I pour pouring medium right into each cup. I don't measure. I pour in what I want to have mixed up. And I usually do about halfway up these cups. And they're good to go. The only one I don't add to at this point is my pigment. And you'll see in a little bit. So if you look at my cups, I don't know if you can see these, but I'm not perfect. Some are less than others. So I kind of match them up to the colors that I maybe don't want as much paint of. So I'm going to set those here. I'm going to do this, and this, this, and this, and this one. Okay? And I just add a squirt of paint and give it a stir. Now, what I'm going to tell you is This pouring medium is very thick. It comes out very, very thick. So I end up adjusting this paint. Now this is beautiful. I love the color, but as you can see, it's very thick. It kind of plops down in there. And if you can see this, right here. Here we go. You see how thick that is? Okay. So I use two different mediums, or two different products. I use water, or I use High Flow Medium by Golden. If I just do a little thinning, I'll use this. If it requires a good bit of thinning, I will use water. So I'm going to show you. I got a hair there. I just add a little bit of water. Oop, that was a lot of water. I'll use my handy dandy bucket back here and pour some of that out. Okay. And I just stir it back up. And a lot of times I'll do this right before I paint, because you know how when paint sets it thickens. So I find it best to thin it right before painting. So I probably won't thin the rest of these if I need it thinned. Just because I don't want to keep you on here. I don't want this video to be forever long here. So as you can see, I like it to just drizzle and just barely sit on the top of that paint for just a few seconds. So to me, that is perfect right there. I love that. The next time I open this, it's liable to be thicker. So you can either add a drop of Flow Medium or, again, water. So that was a Master's Touch product. This is Amsterdam, which tends to be a little thicker than the Master's Touch. This is, what is this one? This one is the greenish blue, which is one of my favorite colors. And again, I don't measure. I just put paint in there to get it to a color that I'm happy with. This is a transparent paint, so it just again, you can see how thick it is. It's very thick and wants to kind of glob off of that. So again, I won't thin it right now, but it will require thinning. This is a Liquitex product, and I don't know if you can see this, so I'll just show you. So, I don't know, about like that. You can see this is really thick. It's probably a little old too. But again, stir it up. You can see how lumpy it is. It's lumpy. So this is gonna probably require a good bit of thinning. Isn't that a pretty color? Oof, love that. This is light phthalo cyan green, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. This is very thick. This paint is aging on me because it's getting clumpy. Whenever you mix up a clumpy paint like this, let it set for a day or two after you've mixed it, because it will break down a little bit more yet. But here you can see it is really thick. Again, in this particular case, I would just add some water and thin that right down. I'm going to adjust this down just a hair. so you can see a little better. Looks like it was too much water, but it's really not. I know once I get it all incorporated in there, it will be fine. It's still kind of clumpy because the paint is getting a little old on me. Needs used up soon. So, I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you can see it. It's about perfect there. But it's rather clumpy, so I'm hoping that will break down a little bit more yet. Alright, so that was our Liquitex. And just because I want another color in my palette here, I'm using this. This is Pearlized Vermilion by Master's Touch. And you could see that that was rather thin. Maybe you couldn't see, but that vermilion is really thin. So this probably will mix up pretty thin. Now, it looks kind of pale to me, so I'm going to add just a skirt more, just because I want it a little bit richer in color. See how the difference in color is? So, I want it a little more richer. Won't hurt it, but I might have to thin it when I go to use it. But this might, and you can see it's not terrible. This would be probably the case where I would use this high flow medium. It goes in white, but trust me, it will not affect your color. And it's very runny, so it will thin this down nicely. And honestly, I've never seen a difference between this and water. I can't say that one is better over the other. They both work for me. Ooh, get a little fold here. All right. Still not quite totally mixed in, but you get the idea. And it's much better. Okay. Then we have the Triart liquid. I love Triart liquids. I'm going to turn the camera for a minute to show you something. Do you see all my Triart liquids up there? When I say I love them, I really do. I use them all the time. It's one of my most favorite. I use it probably the most out of all my paints. It doesn't take a lot. I'm going to show you. This is about 6 drops. The neat part about the liquids is you can pick your color. So this is about 6 drops. And it looks pretty good. Give this a good stir here. And then I'll show you how you can choose to put more in there and intensify the color. But that's one of the things I love about these paints is that, you know, and I'll show you that the liquids don't need a whole lot of water. They'll probably be perfect. About a 2-second trace there before it sinks. So this one is like pretty well ready to go. But I would like it to be a little more intense. So I'm going to put a few more drops in and make it a little bit, and you can see how that made it deeper. So you can, you know, kind of pick your color and create your color. I could have put 2 drops in and had a really pale purple. But I wanted something a little deeper. And there you go. It's the liquids are really fun to use, and like I said, this is pretty much ready to go. It's a little thick, but not bad. I prefer my paints to be a little more on the thick side than thin. So that was the liquids. Now we're going to do this little piggy pigment. Now this is where I differ from a lot of people. I do not use, in fact, I don't know if I'll ever use this stuff again. I have a whole bottle here. I don't like using JoSonja. I know there are a lot of people out there, a lot of really wonderful artists that believe in JoSonja. I have found, for me, that this makes my paint, my cells wobble in a completed painting. It doesn't work for me. I don't like it. I stopped using it, and I started using GAC 100 to disperse my pigments. It just works better. I don't know what it is about the JoSonja, but it's not a product. Oh goodness, I should open this first. Sorry. I hope I can show you. There it goes. Whew. Sometimes hard to open. Now, I use these little baby cups. I just cover the bottom in some GAC 100. About like that. Okay, and if you can see, it's about, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch down there. And I'm generous with, I should be wearing a mask and I'm not. I'm generous with my pigment. If you can see that. Okay, and I'm actually going to put just a dash more. I like the pigment to be deep. Alright, so put this aside, wipe up the overflow. I mix this into the GAC 100 to disperse the pigment. Just like you would with your JoSonja. I just don't use it anymore. It just doesn't do as good a job for me. Again, I know, a lot of people say that JoSonja is getting a bad rap, but you use what works for you. And for me, I think the GAC 100 is phenomenal. You can see in there, it looks just the same. And this is what I do. Now I'm ready to add my pouring medium, and I do it about halfway up this cup, and I'll stop there, about like that. Give it a good stir. This is Frost, by the way, if you wanted to know what color I'm mixing. Beautiful. The pigments usually come out perfect. That's exactly the thickness and consistency I'm looking for on those. You can see that. So the ones that mix up the best for me are the pigments and the Triart. They're ready to go, and I like it. So this is great. Now, as far as the cell activator, I use the Australian Floetrol, and I use a 3-to-1 ratio. So one, and I usually mix it up with a tablespoon. I do 1 tablespoon of paint to 3 tablespoons of Australian Floetrol, and that's my pouring medium. So here's my color palette for the next pour, which is going to probably have to be tomorrow because it's near dinner time and I need to go make dinner. So anyway, I thought maybe this would help for people to see you really don't have to measure. You should measure your pouring medium when you make it, but you can add additional paint or just use a little paint. You can do anything you want to create colors. Let me give you another example here to kind of show you. So we'll mix up another. I'll grab a Triart here. Let's see. Let's mix up. Let's do this phthalo blue red shade. So I'm gonna pour some pouring medium in the cup. And this time, grab another stir stick. So if I only put a few drops in there, you're going to see that it creates something very pale. And if you wanted that pale blue, there you go. You're good to go. It's very pretty, but I don't want it pale. I want it a little darker. So I put about 4 or 5 more drops in there. And look how you can change the intensity of the paint just by adding a few more drops. Isn't that pretty? What? Let's see what 3 more drops does. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we made it 4. So again, a little more intense, just adding a little more paint. And there you go. So again, you can just adjust your paints the way you want them to be based on how much paint you put in there. And again, I don't measure, I just throw it in there. And then I adjust the consistency. So, there you have it. That's the Joyce Farkas method of mixing paint. So, I hope you found this helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer. And please follow or subscribe and tell your friends. And happy painting, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow with we'll do a painting with this palette. So until then, happy painting and bye for now.